Another video. This one's on mega concepts like McDonaldization and the uses of ideal types in Weberian sociology. Right? So when I'm talking about Weberian sociology, it goes back to this guy, important figure in sociology, and his usage of ideal types in particular. I'm going to focus on this. And the persistent uses of ideal types, even in present-day sociology, are still visible. So what exactly are ideal types? What did Weber talk about here? What was he really doing? It's a kind of early theorization, early conceptualization process. You're trying to develop a mental image or an artificial construct. Sometimes people call it a heuristic device that you're using to explain mass sociological phenomenon, okay? But you're still just theorizing. You're theorizing in the process. You think you have a concept, you can reduce it down to something like he did, bureaucracy. He calls it bureaucracy, and then he has an early way to conceptualize it. He explains it more thoroughly, and then you basically can develop more sociological explanations on this thing, he calls bureaucracy. Now, throughout Weber's works, he always utilized ideal types, whether it was to describe different authority types, charismatic authority types, or traditional authority types, or rational legalistic authority types. A lot of this theorizing were done through the uses of ideal types as a way to theorize and to do research, right? So classic usage. So ideal types are very useful, especially among sociologists who follow the Weberian tradition. So what I thought about doing is giving an example of other people who follow Weber, who have used ideal types. Someone like George Ritzer used the concept, which I call a mega concept, of McDonaldization. That was his kind of major important book that he published in 1993. And that is an example of using an ideal type, constructing it, and then being able to use it as a way to think about modern society, right, in the direction, at least the direction in which this sociologist thinks we are going. Okay, so there are actually, one can thoroughly read the book McDonaldization by Ritzer. And he tries to map out these 4 dimensions of McDonaldization, which he argues represent McDonaldization and how it influences other spheres of society which we haven't seen before. And these 4 dimensions were efficiency, calculability, predictability, and control, right? Recall that this was written in 1993. So fast food culture was, even at that time, very dominating, very hegemonic. Now, in the second decade of the 21st century, it's fair to say that we still have a hyper-McDonaldization, but McDonaldization has perhaps entered into other institutions, whether it is in banking or in shipping, manufacturing. Think of Amazon as an example, right? So, university, colleges. So there's a usage of ideal types in the Weberian tradition that helps us to theorize, right? As I just illustrated with concepts like McDonaldization, which are theoretical concepts to begin with, but then help us to, propose hypotheses or maybe propose insights into what actually is McDonaldization from internally, but also the impact it has, for instance, externally. Okay, so it's a theoretical tool that sociologists could at any time take out of their toolbox, in addition to empirical evidence. So theories can be refuted if there isn't any empirical evidence for it. So, but of course, people know McDonald's exists as a real corporation, so you could definitely study it just like any other major corporation, whether it's Amazon or Walmart, right? So, I hope this was useful. Videos are just a little shorter this time, but I'll put some more links at the comments section if you'd like to read a little bit more about ideal types and what they are according to Weber.